Okay, in a world full of deadlines, stress is bound to happen. We all have those days that we get off track and it seems like the time for ourselves, well, that's just out the window. It's just not even part of our reality. But life doesn't necessarily have to be that way, because joining me now is Holly Mosier, a healthy lifestyle expert and a gal with fantastic arms, Andy and I have decided. She's also an author to boot, the author of Stress Less, Way Less, and she has some really great tips on how we can remove the stress from our life, or at least in baby steps, if we want to think of it this way, maybe minimize the stress to ultimately removing the stress. Nice to have you on the show.
That's a better way of thinking about it, Stephanie. Little baby steps.
So let's talk about some of the tips that we're going to find in this book, because this book was really kind of the catalyst for a life changer for you.
Yes, it was.
So
very much so.
Let's talk about first tip out the gates to reduce a little bit of that holiday stress.
Yeah, because the holidays is when the stress really starts to build up, because our schedules get even busier. And let's face it, sometimes you are spending time with people that you only see once a year.
Exactly.
And sometimes there's a reason for that.
Exactly.
So my first tip for dealing with holiday stress is to actually pick a different day to celebrate your holiday. Like, we just did this last week with my parents. We decided that, you know, Thanksgiving on the actual day wasn't really going to work for all of us because of work schedules and travel schedules, whatnot. So what we decided to do is just pick a different day to celebrate Thanksgiving. So we're going to celebrate on a Tuesday. Everybody can be there and nobody's stressed. And we do this a lot.
Okay.
And people are kind of stunned to think, can I really do that?
Can I get my mind into that place of Thanksgiving is not on the day that the parade is?
Exactly. But, you know, another thing, if you pick a different day to celebrate for Christmas, we've celebrated Christmas after Christmas, then you take advantage of those after Christmas sales. It's a blast.
Sold.
Yeah.
My kids are having Christmas on January 2nd.
We've done that. We actually have done that.
All right. Well, that's a great tip. And, you know, I have to get back to the book, though. What, you know, this is just the first tip in a whole line of tips that you have in there. But why did you decide to write it?
Well, like many people, when I was 40, I hit an absolute wall. I was gaining weight. I was losing energy. I was so depleted all the time. And what I found is that really all of my symptoms were connected to stress. And so I started to try to find ways to deal with stress in a reasonable way that I could work into my very busy life. I mean, we have a blended family as a trial lawyer.
Wow.
And so I had to find things that I could do all day, every day to keep my stress levels kind of modified. And so from there, I had a tremendous transformation in my physical body. But I think more importantly, it was my happiness. I started to become a calmer, happier person all the time. And I wanted to share it with everybody. So
okay, so speaking of share it with everybody, do you go out there, like, are you public with your age?
I am.
Okay, so,
yes.
And I only say this because I asked her the age of her children, and she said 22 and 20 and like 18, and I was like, this doesn't look like it, that doesn't work. The math didn't work for me. So tell everybody your age, just to show.
I am 50.
You're 50 years old.
I'm 50 years old.
I mean,
yes.
that is incredible. And again, back to the stress. So your second tip for us in taking that stress out of our lives so that we can achieve the health benefits like you've seen in your life.
Well, here's a great one. Whenever you have a gift-giving event, like we've got Christmas coming up, first thing I would do is opt out of buying a gift for everybody. So what we do is we put a bunch of names. Everybody you normally buy gifts in your group, put their names in a bowl. Everybody draws. Then you put a price limit on what that gift is going to cost. It could be anything from, we're going to do $20 gifts, or because we're doing one, we're going to do a $50 gift. It becomes so much fun to go out and shop for that one gift.
For the one gift. Yeah. Instead of freaking out the week before,
yeah.
I don't know anything about this, trying to buy everybody gifts.
Exactly.
That's a great idea.
And this is another option too. If you have a group of people that enjoy a certain thing, like we're wine lovers, so we do this with our friends. We all buy a bottle of wine. We do a wine exchange, and we put a price limit on that too. So we do $10 bottles of wine.
You can get such great
You
wine.
can, and then it becomes fun the whole year. You're sampling $10 bottles of wine, and you have like this whole thing to choose from. So it's a blast. But I've seen it done with coffees. We're also coffee lovers.
Oh, that's a great exchange.
Do coffee. Yeah, it's fun. Specialty coffees. You can do it with teas. You can do it with cookies.
Pumpkin's my favorite right now.
Oh.
I probably have pumpkin coffee breath.
No, you're good.
I'm actually sipping it down here. So, when I said I liked coffee, I wasn't kidding.
I do too.
And I noticed you've got like a whole spread here, so it kind of begs the question, are you suggesting that we wouldn't necessarily have to do our own Thanksgiving dinner?
I am. I don't know why I didn't realize this sooner, but grocery stores have wonderful pre-made meals. I have gotten the pre-made holiday meals at many different grocers. This one's from AJ's, but a lot of them have it. And I've never had a bad one. It takes away so much time spent in preparation, so you can now enjoy your guests. You can actually enjoy the meal, because all you do, they come in pretty decent looking boxes. I'm ashamed to say.
They even cut, I mean, I bought AJ's gravy a couple years back, and it's delish. It's delish.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. Just go, pick it up, pick the time. So, yeah, no, I've done that.
And you don't have to do the whole meal. You can do just one or two dishes, like what you're saying. Yeah. Like here, we just have a dessert, get ice cream, that kind of thing. Cut down the time and the preparation.
Well, those are some great tips. Just thinking outside the box. And we've just basically given you, pardon the pun, an appetizer of all the tips that are in her book. Basically just helping us reduce the stress. If we get that mindset, like on November 1st, it's bound to be a better holiday season for sure. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing us some information with us. And you can find this book, Stress Less, Weigh Less, in most bookstores nationwide, as well as online. Andy?
All right. Thanks so much, Deb. Hey, when we come